Welcome back. I just want to continue a bit more in the topic we've been talking about, the struggle with our Yetzer Hara. So this week's topic is the struggle is real. It's also what defines us. I want to talk a bit more about the struggle that Yaakov had with the Sarah Shel Esau, with the Yetzer Hara, because these psukim they're really the roadmap when it comes to our own struggle with our own Yetzer Hara. So just to go through the psukim briefly, and then we'll explain a little bit how it applies to our own lives, how it applies to our own struggles that we have with our Yetzer Hara. So the pasuk says, "Vayivasi Yaakov levadai." Yaakov remained alone. Vayavik ish imo yad aleis hashachar. He was vayavik. He was wrestling. He was struggling until the morning came up. V'yar ki lo yacholoi. When the Sarah Shel Esau saw that he couldn't overcome Yaakov Avinu, vayiga b'kaf yirecha v'teka kaf yerech Yaakov ve'avka imai. So he deals a blow to Yaakov's thigh. He dislocates Yaakov's thigh. V'yemer shalcheni ki Allah hashachar. And he tells Yaakov Avinu, "Let me go. It's my turn to sing Shir HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The morning has come." And Yaakov tells him, "V'yemer lo ashalechacha ki im berechtani." I'm not going to send you away unless you give me a bracha. V'yemer elav ma shemecha v'yemer Yaakov. So he asks Yaakov, "What's your name?" Yaakov says, "Yaakov." V'yemer le Yaakov yemer shemcha kim Yisrael ki sirisa im elihim v'anosh v'tuchal. You're no longer going to be called Yaakov. You're going to be called Yisrael because you struggled. Ki sirisa, because you struggled. Vayishlach Yaakov, v'yemer gid no shemecha. So Yaakov asks the Yetzer Hara back, asks the Sarah Shel Esau back, says, "What's your name?" V'yemer, he says, "Lama zeh tishal l'shmi." Why are you asking me my name? Vayivarach yisei sham. And he gives Yaakov a bracha. He blesses Yaakov Avinu. So just to talk about these psukim a little bit and to bring it down, how it pertains to our own lives, how it pertains to our struggle with the Yetzer Hara. So Vayivasi Yaakov levad, and Yaakov remained alone. So we spoke about in the past how it meant that Yaakov felt alone, disconnected from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky says a little bit differently. Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky explains that levad can mean without a chevra, without a group of people, without a support group. That sometimes in our struggle with our Yetzer Hara, we feel that we're very alone in our fight. We're very alone in the struggle. We could feel that nobody has this Yetzer Hara that we have. We could feel that it's not something that we could talk about with other people. We could feel ashamed by what it is that we struggle with. We feel levadai. We feel very alone. We feel very isolated in our struggle with the Yetzer Hara. But we have to realize that in reality, we're never alone. And even if it's not something that we could talk about with anybody else, or we don't feel that anybody else has this struggle or can understand our struggle, so what do? We have to bring a Kadosh Baruch Hu into it. We have to talk to Kadosh Baruch Hu and ask a Kadosh Baruch Hu for help dealing with their Yetzer Hara. But the pasuk says, "Vayavik ish imai," that they're wrestling one with another. The Kliyakar says Vayavik. A bunch of the Mepharshim, a lot of the commentaries explain that Vayavik is really the same lashon as Vayichabek. The ches and the aleph, Vayavik, Vayichabek, the ches and the aleph are interchangeable. That Vayavik is a lashon of embracing, a hug. That they were locked in a wrestle, they were in an embrace, they were struggling while they were embracing, they were wrestling with each other. But the Kliyakar explains, he says, so if Vayavik means the same thing as Vayichabek, it's a hug, it's an embrace. So why does it say Vayavik as opposed to Vayichabek? So the Kliyakar explains, because Vayavik, the root word of the word Vayavik is avak, which is dust. What's the significance of dust? Why did we specifically want to choose a word? Why did the Torah want to say a word that the root of the word is dust? What's the significance of dust? So the Kliyakar explains that when it's very dusty, when a person is going through a dust storm, if there's a lot of dust in the air, a person's vision gets clouded. A person has a hard time seeing. The Kliyakar explains that what the Yetzer Hara tried to do to Yaakov Avinu was to cloud his vision, to prevent him from seeing Hashem, to prevent him from seeing Hashem that is with him in this struggle. He tried clouding his vision with throwing the dust in his eyes. And this is something that we have to realize in our own fight as well, in our own struggle with the Yetzer Hara, that sometimes we feel as though we cannot see HaKadosh Baruch Hu when we're struggling. We lose sight of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have to realize that this is one of the tactics of the Yetzer Hara, that he's deliberately trying to cloud our vision so that we should not be able to see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. For if we cannot see HaKadosh Baruch Hu when we're struggling, it's going to be that much harder. But I think we could take it a little bit deeper as well, that sometimes we try to run from the fight. We try to run from the fight. We don't want to fight with the Yetzer Hara, obviously, but more than that, we're scared of the struggle. When the struggle comes, we just fall to pieces. We have to embrace the struggle. We have to embrace the struggle. What does Yaakov Avinu do? He moves in. They're locked in an embrace. We have to move into the struggle, embrace the struggle, and realize that the whole point of our existence is to struggle with our Yetzer Hara. It's not to run from the fight, but to actively fight our Yetzer Hara and to step in and embrace the struggle, get comfortable with discomfort. We have to get comfortable with discomfort. But then at the end of the psukim, it's very, very interesting. The Yetzer Hara asks Yaakov Avinu, what's your name? And Yaakov says, my name's Yaakov. And the Yetzer Hara says, no, your name is not going to be called Yaakov anymore. From now on, for going forward, you are going to be called Yisrael. Why? Because you struggled. Yaakov Avinu then asked the Yetzer Hara, what's your name? The Yetzer Hara says, why are you asking my name? What does my name matter? So we have to understand this. Why is the Yetzer Hara asking Yaakov Avinu for his name? He changes Yaakov's name from Yaakov to Yisrael. Going forward, you're going to be called Yisrael. But now, when Yaakov Avinu asks the Yetzer Hara what his name is, he says, what do you need to know my name for? Why not? Why not? So the Sfarim HaKadoshim tell us that what the Yetzer Hara was saying was, my name is constantly changing. What my name is today doesn't matter, because tomorrow I'll have a different name. The Yetzer Hara is ever evolving, ever changing. One generation, the struggle with the Yetzer Hara for that generation could be hedonism, it could be Hellenism, Bundism, communism, it could be apathy, but the Yetzer Hara is constantly changing. In fact, Nesiv Shalom tells us, and we'll speak more about this in another time, but Nesiv Shalom tells us, because the Yetzer Hara is ever evolving, constantly changing, that means that the tactics that we're going to use to fight the Yetzer Hara, they have to keep up with the times. We have to change our tactics as well. What worked yesterday, what worked in the last generation, may not work today. But it's more than that. The Yetzer Hara is saying, my name doesn't matter, but because my name is constantly changing. I'm ever evolving. But you, Yaakov Avinu, from now on, going forward, you're going to be called Yisrael, Kisarisa. Your name, Yisrael, because you struggled, that's not going to change. This is something that's so important for us to realize. The struggle is not going to change. From now, for our entire lives, for all eternity, we are always going to be struggling with our Yetzer Hara. Sometimes we think like, oh, when I get married, then I won't have this Yetzer Hara. When I have children, when I'm 40, when I'm 70, I won't have my Yetzer Hara anymore. We have to realize that that's a mistake. The Yetzer Hara is there for life, and we're supposed to struggle with the Yetzer Hara for life. It's what we're here for. And we have to embrace that struggle. We have to move in and really get comfortable with that discomfort and realizing that, yeah, we're here for the long haul. We're in it to win it. But what does it mean to win it? What does it mean to win the Yetzer Hara? So what happens? When the Yetzer Hara sees that he can't overcome Yaakov Avinu, he strikes him in his thigh, dislocating his thigh. Yaakov is the victor over here. Yaakov won. But Yaakov now has a permanent injury. He has the Yetzer Hara dislocated his thigh. And that's what we have to realize. That when we're fighting with when we're struggling with our Yetzer Hara, yes, we may be bruised from that fight. We may become crippled from that fight. We may have been dealt a blow by the Yetzer Hara. But that doesn't mean that we lost. Winning means staying in the fight. Winning means I don't give up. I got knocked down, I don't stay down. I get back up. And this is our avodah for life. Our avodah for life is what? To stay in the fight with the Yetzer Hara. This is a name that'll never change, Kisarisa, that we are going to struggle with the Yetzer Hara, even if we've gotten bruised, even if we've gotten knocked down. But winning means staying in the game.